And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Well, you know, if it's an odd year like 2014, 2016, that normally means that we're going to be probably having some kind of election somewhere. And of course, in the state of Alabama, next November, there'll be some elections coming up. One of the seats up for grabs this coming year is Secretary of State. And my guest today is Reese McKinney, a familiar face.
And it's good to be with you today.
Looking for a different place.
That's right. That's
and Reese, obviously you're vying or going to be a candidate for Secretary of State in the state of Alabama. Let our viewers know what does that job entail?
The Secretary of State of Alabama is very important to every citizen in Alabama. Also, of course, it's the chief election official for the state of Alabama.
Okay.
And that is so important, and certainly I learned that lesson being the chief election official of Montgomery County.
Right.
And then the Secretary of State's office also helps bring in new industry and get good industry established in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important for us to have a issue-free process for these companies to come in and either expand
mm-hmm.
or just a brand new company coming in.
In other words, cut out some of the red tape.
The red tape needs
Absolutely.
to be streamlined. It just
mm-hmm.
needs to be cut out, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly, we've got some issues there. And I did the same thing in Montgomery County. Again, Montgomery
Right.
County was a little different than many of the other probate judges' office. We did more things than the average probate judge does around the state.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was business filings. We had a huge responsibility in business filings here in Montgomery County that other
Right.
judges didn't do.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, Secretary of State, the elections are one part.
Yes,
and
sir.
then basically, if you're going to form a corporation here, does that corporation go through the Secretary of State's office?
Yes, it does. And they have to submit documents, and then
Right.
they have to be authenticated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big process. And it's something like that, Jack, shouldn't take more than a couple of days or maybe a couple of hours to
Mm-hmm.
do. And right now, it's rather lengthy to get that process through. And we streamline things like that in Montgomery County, which I'm
Right.
sure you remember, as far
Mhm.
as business filings.
Right.
And as far as tag, just a simple thing as a tag renewal.
Mm-hmm.
We did away with a lot of the paperwork and used electronics and just a little
Mm-hmm.
technology, and it works.
At the Secretary of State's level, are they over licensing things then too, or is it? In other words, if you were to take the probate judge job and what was happening in Montgomery County and expand it to the statewide, would it mirror itself pretty close? Or?
It would, as far as technology,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just technology fits everywhere. I removed some fees in Montgomery County.
Right.
Totally, because it was much more efficient if you renewed your tag by technology.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly made it so much easier, and people took us up on that.
Right.
And we saved the citizen money, and we saved the city, the county, and the state money by collecting these fees electronically. Instead of getting that check in and putting it in our bank account and then dividing it up with all the other governmental
Mm-hmm.
agencies, we set it up where it was done all automated. So there was
Mm-hmm.
no human person involved
Right.
except the auditor
Mm-hmm.
later on. And it works. And we can do the same thing on the state level.
That makes
I
it
think
good.
it's just, it's opening its arms to have some new technology.
You know, I think people are, citizens are getting more aware of people running for offices, because I think it's no secret there is a great mistrust of government.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
both on the federal level, it can even be on the state. It seems like that's all it is quibble all the time, and it's always like the government's out to get you, kind of a get you thing. And I think a lot of that is based on the fact that people can go up for an election, and I'm in the marketing business, so I know, I mean, it's kind of like selling cereal. You make it look pretty, you buy the cereal.
Yes,
The
sir.
difference between
Yes,
a
sir.
politician and a box of cereal, if you don't like the cereal, you can toss it out tomorrow. Politician you're stuck with for a while.
Stuck with them
and
for
they
that
can have a
term.
bigger influence on your life. So I'm a big proponent that we need to see more people that are qualified going into positions, as opposed to somebody that just wakes up one morning and says, oh, that one's up for grabs. I think I'll do that. And we're seeing a lot of this because a lot of the media now is starting to vet the people more and say, okay, do you really know what the Constitution is? Or, you know, so basically for our viewers' standpoint, your qualifications for the job.
I'm very qualified for this job. I'm really the only candidate in this race that's truly qualified because I've done the work as far as the chief election official for this county, which was the largest election.
And that's Montgomery County.
Montgomery
right.
County.
For a lot of our viewers that may not know this, because this show it covers about 22 counties. So.
Okay.
And we're going to be on statewide on a couple of the networks too with this show. Okay.
I'm glad to know that. But as far as being the chief election official here in Montgomery County, I have the experience of running these elections, and I was the only county, Montgomery County was the only county that was recognized nationally for the way we managed elections here.
I remember that.
And I'm very, very proud of what we did, and it was just common sense, business sense, bringing in a little business sense to every phase of government, be it elections or if it has anything to do with business filings, and it makes a difference. Jack, it really does.
And one of the things that was very important, I think, that you did that I'll applaud you for is the fact that you cut expenses in that area. Because, you know, government, it's all we keep saying is government keeps blossoming and getting bigger and more and costing us more. And could you do the same thing in the Secretary of State's office?
I certainly can. I think it's crying or screaming to have someone in that office that has some business sense and has some experience. As you know, I was probably one of the only county officials that on a regular basis returned unused funds at the end of the budget year.
Right.
And
that's important.
It is important. And we earn the trust of the citizens in Montgomery County, and I want to earn the trust of the citizens in the state of Alabama.
Okay, good. Well, best of luck on the trail.
Thank you.
I know you did well when you were here, and look forward to seeing you with another title behind your name.
Thank you so much.
And just remember this, obviously, as you are going to be going to the polls to look for people to do the job, don't just look for another pretty face, even though Reese does have a pretty face, but look and see the qualifications that will go with the candidate. And we'll be right back right after this.